Let's end this year with Star Wars The Last Jedi. For the next chapter in the saga, Rian Johnson writes and directs the film. Some may know of his work on Brick and Looper, while for me, I would remember him most for directing the greatest episode of Breaking Bad, Ozymandias. Ironically, he also directed everyone's least favorite episode, the one with the fly. But I digress. And with The Last Jedi, Johnson delivers another exciting and entertaining entry in the franchise. The basic details of the plot are Rey meets Luke Skywalker on a desolate island for help and training, while the Resistance, along with Finn, Poe, and General Leia, try to escape the First Order hot on their trail. Kylo Ren, meanwhile, tries to prove himself but struggles with his humanity. While admittedly The Force Awakens takes a lot from A New Hope, this film has some similarities to Empire, but it goes in a new direction and changes a lot of things for the Star Wars mythos. Obviously, people are going to have their own theories on some certain characters, but the answers you do get in the film aren't quite what you expect, and I really admire the movie for making some bold choices in its storytelling. I'll confess that I wasn't 100% excited from the beginning, excluding the title crawl, but it got more intriguing as it went along, and I couldn't wait to see what would happen next. Mark Hamill gives a solid performance, reprising his most well-known character. He's not the same Luke Skywalker from the end of Return of the Jedi, feeling a lot of guilt and failure from an incident and is reluctant to help. But soon enough, he teaches Rey some things about the Force, yet he fears she might go down the dark path Kylo Ren went on. Carrie Fisher gets a bigger role here and is just as notable as Hamill. It is so crazy and unbelievably tragic that Carrie Fisher passed away a year ago, along with her mother, Debbie Reynolds. I mean, nobody knew this would be one of her very last appearances. And it still breaks my heart that she's no longer with us. There was one reference to the original Star Wars involving her that got me misty-eyed. The new characters continue to be engrossing with new dilemmas. Rey looks up to Luke for answers on the power within her, and Daisy really knocks it out of the park, displaying a lot of vulnerability the more she learns about herself. John Boyega does good as Finn, as does Oscar Isaac as Poe, who's a bit cockier and rebellious, but not to a point where he's unlikable. I mean, he and the Resistance are on the run. As for Adam Driver as Kylo Ren, by God, he gives very intriguing development as he struggles with his identity after getting rejected by his master, Supreme Leader Snoke. And without giving too much away, a very fascinating contrast is presented between him and Rey, and both of them work off each other so well. Some other noteworthy people have some cameos in the film, such as Billie Lourd, Carrie Fisher's daughter, who plays a lieutenant in the Resistance. One of my favorite directors, Edgar Wright, has a cameo as a trooper. In fact, note to self, I need to see the movie again to see if I could spot him. And Aide Edmondson plays a officer of the First Order. If Rick Mayall was still alive, I would definitely love to see a sitcom with the two of them as officers of the First Order. A very apt title would be Space Bottom. Now, is the film perfect? No, but then again, what film isn't? And the first of my issues center around the new characters. There's Rose, who teams up with Finn, and while she's not an awful character, I had my doubts about her from the way she acted like a fangirl when she meets Finn. Nothing about her truly stood out, other than she was just a female Finn, but Vietnamese and a bit more confident. Then there's Laura Dern as Admiral Holdo, who displayed such arrogance that it became hard to determine which side she was on. And there was one set piece that was really out of place, even for Star Wars. In fact, it was leaning towards prequel territory. It was anything but subtle. But with all that said, The Last Jedi was very gripping with good character development and some of the most beautiful cinematography you could find in a Star Wars film. Much like how Empire was a game changer, this film proved to be another one as it opened up new possibilities. I really hope Episode 9 would unfold new exciting things and would give us more answers. Overall, much like how I felt about The Force Awakens, I feel The Force is strong with this film too. To put it another way, The Last Jedi gets my strong approval.